Nutanix. We're talking about a new era in database management. To help us dig into it, first of all, I have the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Nutanix Era databases and business critical applications, that is Bala Kuchibutla, and one of our other CUBE alums, Monica Kumar, who's an SVP also with Nutanix. Bala, Monica, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
All right, so first of all, Bala, a new era. We have a little bit of a pun. You've got me with some puns there. Of course, we know that the database for Nutanix solution is Era. So we always like to bring out the news first. Why don't you tell us what does this mean? What is Nutanix announcing today?
Awesome, thank you, Stu. Yeah, so today is a very big day for us. I'm super excited to inform all of us and audience that we are announcing the Era 2.0 GA bits for customers to enjoy it. It's some customers can download and start playing with it. So what's new with Nutanix Era 2.0? As you know, 1.0 is a single cluster solution, meaning the customers have to have a Nutanix cluster and then have Era on the same cluster to enjoy the databases. But with Era 2.0, it becomes multi-cluster solution. It's not just a multi-cluster solution. Customers can enjoy database across clusters, right? That means that they can have their always-on availability group SQL servers or Postgres servers across Nutanix clusters. That means that they can spread across AZs, availability zones. Now, the most interesting point of this is, it's not just across clusters. Customers can place these clusters in the cloud, right? That is AWS. You can have Nutanix cluster in the AWS cluster, and then the primary production clusters maybe on the Nutanix on-prem or enterprise cloud kind of stuff. That's number one. Number two, we have extended our data management capabilities, data management platform capabilities, and what we call them as global time machine, right? Global time machine with data access management, like raising river, that you need to harness the raising river by constructing a dam and then harness it for multi-purpose, whether irrigation projects or hydroelectric project kind of stuff. You need to kind of do the similar things for your data in the company, enterprise company. You need to make sure that the right persons get the right amount of data so that you don't kind of give all production data to everyone in the company. At the same time, they also need the accessibility. With one click, they can get the database, the data they want. So that's the data access management. Imagine a QA person only gets the sanitized snapshots or sanitized database backups for them to create the copies. And then we are extending our database engine portfolios to introduce SAP HANA to the thing. As you know that we support Oracle today, Postgres, MySQL, MariaDB, and SQL Server. I'm excited to inform that we are introducing SAP HANA. Our customers can do one-click sandbox creation, end-to-end environment for SAP HANA today on Nutanix platform. And lastly, I'm super excited to inform that we are becoming a Postgres vendor. We are going to give 24/7, 365 days support for Postgres database engine that's kind of provisioned through Nutanix Era platform, right? So this way, the customers can enjoy the engine platform service all together in one single shot with a single 1-800 company that they can call and get the support they want. I'm super duper excited that this is going to make the customers a truly multi-cloud, multi-cluster data management platform. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that, Stu. It's fantastic that we are now offering this new capability. I just want to kind of remind our audience that Nutanix for many years has been providing the foundation, the infrastructure software, where you can run all these multiple workloads, including databases today. And what we're doing with Era is fantastic because now we are giving our customers the ability to take that database that they run on top of Nutanix to provide that as a service now, right? So now we are talking to a whole different organization here. It's database administrators, it's teams that run databases, it's teams that care about data and providing access to data in organizations.
Well, first of all, congratulations. I've talked for a couple of years to the teams at Nutanix, especially some of the people working on Postgres. Really exciting stuff. And you've both seen really the unlocking of database. It used to be we talked about I have one database. It's kind of the one that everything runs on. Now customers, they have more databases. You talked about that flexibility as to where we run it. Would love to hear, maybe Monica, start with you. You talk about, the customers. What does this really mean for them? Because one of our most mission critical, applications we talk about, we're not just throwing our databases. Oh, I don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, let me move it to this cloud and put it in this data center. It's, this needs to be reliable. I need to have access to the data. I need to be able to work with it. So what does this really mean, and what does it unlock for your customers?
Yes, absolutely. I love to talk about this topic. I mean, if you think about databases, they are means to an end, right? And in this case, the end is, being able to mine insights from the data and then make meaningful decisions based on that. So when we talk to customers, it's really clear that data has now become one of the most valuable assets that an organization owns. Well, of course, in addition to the employees that are part of the organization and our customers, data is one of the most important assets. But most organizations, the challenges they face is a lot of data gets collected. And in fact, we've heard numbers thrown around for many years, like, almost 80% of world's data has been, created in the last like 3 or 4 years. And, data is doubling every 2 years in terms of volume. Well, guess what? Data gets collected, it sits there. And organizations are struggling to get access to it with the right performance, the right security, and regulation compliance, the reliability, availability, by persona. Developers need certain access, analysts needs different access, line of businesses need different access. So what we see is organizations are struggling in getting access to data at the right time by the right person on the team and when they need it. And I think that's where database as a service is critical. It's not just about having the database software, which is of course important, but how you now make that service available, to your stakeholders, to developers, to lines of business within the SLAs that they demand. So is it instantly? How quickly can you make it available? How quickly can your users have access to data and do something meaningful with it and mine the insights for smarter business? And then the one thing I'd like to add is that's where IT and business really come together. That's the glue. If you think about it today, what is the glue between an IT organization and a business organization? It's the data. And that's where they're really coming together to say, how can we together deliver the right service so you, the business owner, can deliver the right outcome for our business?
That's very true. Maybe I'll just add a couple of comments there. What we are trying to do is we are trying to bring the cloud experience, the RDS-like experience, to the enterprise cloud and then hybrid cloud. So the customers will now have a choice of cloud. They don't need to be locked in a particular cloud. At the same time, enjoy the true cloud utility experience. We help customers create clouds, database clouds, either by themselves if they're big enough to manage the cloud themselves, or they can partner with GSIs like Wipro or HCL and then create a completely managed database service kind of stuff. So this brings this cloud neutrality, portability for customers and give them the choice at their terms, Stu.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. We've seen a huge growth in managed services, as you said. Maybe bring us inside a little bit. What does this free up customers? What, we've said for so long, back when HCI first started, it was, some of the storage administrators might bristle because you were taking things away from them. It was like, no, we're going to free you up to do other things that, as Monica said, deliver more business value, not mapping LUNs and doing that. How about from the DBA standpoint? What are some of those, repetitive, undifferentiated heavy lifting that we're going to take away from them so that they can focus on the business value?
Yep. Thank you, Stu. So think about this. We all do copy-paste operations in laptops, right? Something of that sort happens in data center at a much larger scale, meaning that the same kind of copy-paste operation happens at databases at petabytes or terabytes of scale, hundreds of terabytes. Now it has become the most dreaded, complex, long-running, error-prone operation. Why should it be that way? Why should the DBA spend all these mundane tasks and then get busy for every cloning operation? It's a 2-day job for me. Every backup job, it's like a half-day job for me. Provisioning takes like 3 days. We can take this undifferentiated heavy lifting by this and then let the DBS focus on designing the cloud for them, or looking for the database tuning, database design, data modeling, or AI ML aspects of the data kind of stuff. So we are freeing up the database ops people in a way that they can design the database cloud and make sure that their energy focus on higher order value things and more towards the business centric kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? Automation is really important here. What Bala is talking about is automating mundane grunt work. Like IT spends 80% of its time in maintaining systems. So then where is the time for innovation, right? So if we can automate stuff that's, repetitive, stuff that the machine can do, the software can do, why not? And I think that's what our database as a service, offering does. And I would add this, you know, the big thing our database as a service does really is provide IT organizations and DB organizations a way to manage heterogeneous databases too. It's not like, here's my environment for Postgres, here's my environment for MySQL, here's my environment for Oracle, here's my environment for SQL Server. Now with a single offering, a single tool, you can manage your heterogeneous environment across different clouds, on-premises cloud or in a public cloud environment. So I think that's the beauty we are talking about with Nutanix's Era, is it really truly gives organizations that single environment to manage heterogeneous databases, apply the same automation and the ease of management across all these different environments.
Yeah. I'll just add one further comments too, that a true managed PaaS, obviously customers enjoy like a single shop, go to public cloud, just click through and then they get the database endpoints, and then someone is managing the database for them. But if you look at the enterprise data centers, they need to bring that enterprise governance structure to these databases. It's not like anyone can do anything to all these databases. So we are kind of getting the best of both. The needed enterprise governance by these enterprise people, at the same time bringing the convenience for the application teams and developers. They want to consume these databases like a utility. So bringing the cloud experience, bringing the enterprise governance, at the same time, I'm super confident we can cut down the cost. So that is what Nutanix Era is all about across all the clouds, including the enterprise cloud. Yeah.
Well, Bala, being simpler and being less expensive were one of the original promises of the cloud that don't necessarily always come out there. So that's super important. One of the other things you talk about these hybrid environments. It's not just that it's in the public cloud. Want to understand, these environments. If I'm in the public cloud, can I still leverage some of the services that are in the public cloud? So if I want to run some analytics, if I want to use some of the phenomenal services that are coming out every day, is that something that can be done in this environment?
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Steve. So we are seeing customers two categories. There is a public cloud customer completely born in public cloud, cloud native services. They realize that for every database, they're maintaining 5 or 7 different copies, and the management of these copies is prohibitive, just because every copy is a full thick copy in the public cloud, meaning you take a backup snapshot and restore it. Your meter, like New York taxi, it starts running for your EBS and whatever the task that you're looking at, it kind of stuff. So they can leverage Nutanix clusters and then have a highly efficient cloning capability so that they can cut down some of these costs for the secondary environments that I talk about, right? What we call as copy data management. That's one kind of use case. The other kind of customers that we are seeing, whose cloud is a phenomenon. There's no one, and there's no way that people have to move to cloud. That's something at a C-level mandate that happens. These customers are enjoying their database experience on our enterprise cloud, but when they try to go to these big hyperscalers, they are seeing the disconnect, that they're not able to enjoy some of the things that they are seeing on the enterprise cloud with us. So this transition, they are talking to us, can you get this kind of functionality with Nutanix platform onto some of these big hyperscalers? So there are kind of customers moving both sides. Some customers are in public cloud. They're trying to enjoy our facilities, other copy data management on Nutanix. Customers are on-prem, but they have a mandate to go to public cloud. With our hybrid cloud strategy, they get to enjoy the same kind of convenience that they are seeing it on enterprise, and bringing the same kind of governance that they used to do it. So that's the way we see customers.
Yeah. Monica, I want to go back to something you talked about. Customers dealing with that heterogeneous environment that they have reminds me of a lot of the themes that we talked about at Nutanix.next, because customers have multiple clouds they're using. It requires different skill sets, different tooling. It's that simplicity layer that Nutanix has been working to deliver since day one. Could you talk? What are you hearing from your customers? How are they doing with this? And especially in the database world, what are some of those, challenges that they're really facing that we're looking to help solve with this solution today?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, what customers, at least in our experience, what they want or what they're looking for is this modern cloud platform that can really work across multiple cloud environments. Because people don't want to change, running, let's say, an Oracle database here on-prem on a certain stack, and then using a whole different stack to run Oracle database in the cloud. What they want is the same exact foundation, so they can be, for sure have the right performance, right? Availability, reliability, the applications don't have to be rewritten on top of Oracle database. They want to preserve all of that, but they want the flexibility to be able to run that cloud platform wherever they choose to. So that's one. So that's the, choosing the right and modernizing and choosing the right cloud platform is definitely very important to our customers. But you nailed it on the head, Stu. It's then about how do you manage it? How do you operate it on a daily basis? And that's where our customers are struggling with multiple types of tools out there, custom tool for every single environment. And that's what they don't want. They want to be able to manage simply across multiple environments using the same tools and skill sets. And again, I know I'm going to beat the same drum, but that's when Nutanix shines. That's our design principle. Is it's the exact same technology foundation that we provide to customers to run any applications. In this case, it happens to be databases. Exact same foundation you can use to run databases on-prem, in the cloud, and then on top of that, using Era, boom, simple management, simple operations, simple provisioning, simple copy data management, simple patching. All of that becomes easy using just a single framework to manage and operate. And I will tell you this, when we talk to customers, what is it that DBAs and database teams are struggling with? They're struggling with SLAs on performance, on scalability. That's one. Number two, they're struggling with keeping it up and running and fulfilling the demands of their stakeholders because they cannot keep up with how many databases they need to keep provisioning and patching and updating. So at Nutanix, now we are actually solving both those problems. With our platform, we are solving the problem of a very specific SLA that we can deliver in any cloud. And with Era, we are solving the issue of that operational complexity. We're making it really easy. So again, IT stakeholders, DBAs can fulfill the demands of the business stakeholders and really help them monetize the data.
Yeah, I'll just add on with one concrete examples too. Like we have a big financial customer. They want to run Postgres. They are looking at the public cloud. Can we do a managed services kind of stuff? But you look at this, that the cost difference between running a Postgres on your compute infrastructure versus managed services is almost like 3x to 4x dollars, right? Now, with Nutanix platform and Era, we were able to show that they can do at much reduced cost, right? Managed database service experience, including their DBA cost or including the cloud administration cost. Like we added the infrastructure, we added the people who are going to manage the cloud, internal cloud, and then end-to-end experience being plus of what they can see to public cloud. That's what makes the big difference. And this is what data sovereignty, data control, compliance, and enterprise structure governance, all these things coupled with cloud experience is what customers really see the value of Era on the enterprise cloud. And with an extension to the public cloud with our hybrid cloud strategy. If they want to move this workload to public cloud, they can do it so today with AWS clusters and tomorrow with our Azure clusters. So that gives them that kind of insurance, not getting locked in by a big hyperscaler, but at the same time enjoy the cloud experience. That's what big customers are looking for. Yeah.
All right, and Bala, all the things you laid out here, what's the availability of Era 2.0?
Era 2.2 is actually available today. The customers can enjoy it, download the bits. We already have a bunch of beta customers who are trying it out, whether you call big telco companies or financial companies, or even the big companies that manage big pensions kind of stuff. Let's talk about that kind of stuff. People are looking to us. In fact, there are customers who are looking for when is this available for Azure clusters so that we can move some of our workloads to and manage the databases in the Azure clusters too. So it is available, and I'm looking forward to great feedback from our customers and hoping that it will solve some of their major critical problems, and in the process, they get the best out of Nutanix.
Yeah. Monica, last question I have for you. This doesn't seem like it's necessarily the same traditional infrastructure go to market for a solution like this? If I think back to, people think of HCI, it was like, oh, well, it was kind of a new box. We know Nutanix is a software company. More of what you do today is subscription based. So maybe if you could talk a little bit to just how Nutanix goes to market with a solution like this.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe people don't realize it, but I'm hoping a lot of people do, that Nutanix is not just an infrastructure company anymore. In the last many years, we've developed a full cloud platform. Not only do we offer, the infrastructure services with hyperconverged infrastructure, which is now really the foundation, it's the hybrid cloud infrastructure. As you know, we talked to you a month ago, and we talked about the evolution of HCI to really becoming that hybrid cloud infrastructure. But in addition to that, we also offer other data center services around storage, DR, networking. We also offer DevOps services with application, provisioning, automation, application orchestration, and then of course database services that we're talking about today. And we offer desktop services. So Nutanix has really evolved in the last few years to a complete cloud platform, really focusing on the applications and workloads that run on top of the infrastructure stack. So not just the infrastructure layer, but how can we be the best platform to run your databases, your end user computing workloads, your analytics applications, your enterprise applications, cloud native applications. So that's what this is. And databases is one of our most successful workloads that runs on Nutanix very well because of the way the infrastructure software is architected. Because it's really great to scale, high performance, because of again our superior architecture. And now with Era, it's a tool, it's all in one. Now it's also about really simplifying the management of databases and delivering them speedily and with agility to drive innovation in the organizations.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Thank you. I'll just add a couple of lines of commentary to that. GTM for databases, as you rightly call it, too, is going to be a challenge. And historically, we are seen as an infrastructure company. But the beauty of databases is it's so adjacent to the infrastructure, the storage. So the language slightly becomes easy. And in fact, this holistic way of looking at it, solving the problem at the solution level rather than infrastructure, helps us to go to a different kind of buyer, different kind of decision maker. And we are learning. And I can tell you confidently the kind of progress that we have seen in 1.5 years, the kind of customers that we are winning, and proving that we can we can bring a big difference to them. Though there is a challenge of GTM speaking the language of database, but the sheer nature of cloud platform, the way the other hyperscalers work, that's the kind of language that we take. You can run your solutions, and here is how you can cut down your database backup time from hours to less than minute. Here is how you can cut down your patching from 16 hours to less than 1 hour. Here is how you can cut down your provisioning time from multiple weeks to less than like matter of minutes. That holistic way of approaching it, coupled with the power of the platform, really making the big difference for us. And I usually tell every time I meet, can you give us an opportunity to cut down your database cost, the TCO, total cost of operations, by close to 50%? That gets them excited, that lets them lean in and say, how do you plan to do it? And then we go about how do we do it, and we do a deep dive and POCs and all the way. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be a big play for Nutanix. We're going to make a big difference.
Absolutely. Well, Bala, congratulations to the team. Monica, both of you, thank you so much for joining. Really excited for all the announcements.
Thank you so much.
All right, and stay with us. We're going to dig in a little bit more with one more interview for this product launch of the new Era in database management from Nutanix. I'm Stu Miniman, as always. Thank you for watching theCUBE.
From around the globe, it's theCUBE, with digital coverage of a new era in database management. Brought to you by Nutanix.
Welcome back. I'm Stu Miniman, and we're covering Nutanix's new Era database launch. Of course, we just had a conversation with Monica and Bala talking about Era 2.0. And to dig into it a little bit further, we have some Nutanix guests as well as one of their close partners. So going across the panel, first of all, happy to welcome to the program Tei Study. She is the GSI strategy and go-to-market with Nutanix. Sitting in the middle chair, we have Anand Akila, who's product marketing leader with Nutanix. And then from HCL, happy to welcome to the program, Tei Study, who is the Senior Vice President with HCL Technologies, I mentioned. All three of you, thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Great. Thenu, why don't we start with you? You handle the relationship between Nutanix and HCL. As I said, some exciting announcements, database services. Help us understand how a partner like HCL takes the technology and will help bring it to market.
Let me start by thanking you, Stu, for this opportunity. HCL is a very significant partner for Nutanix, and we've had this partnership for a long time now. It's one of our longest-standing partnerships. Over the 5 years, we've closed over 100 accounts across all three theaters, trained professionals both on the Nutanix side and the HCL side, and built a 360 relationship so we can deliver the best experience around solutions to our partners. In the very recent announcement, we are looking to build a database as a service offering with HCL. We want to leverage our intelligent technology that allows us to simplify and increase operating efficiency, and couple it with HCL's ability to offer world-class services and its scale to reach the go-to-market needs needed. Right? We're very confident that this solution is going to drive significant incremental business for both our companies.
Excellent. Tej, would love to hear from your standpoint. What is it that excites you? We know HCL knows the data space real well, so we think you've got some customers that are looking to take advantage of some of these new offerings.
Yeah. So if you look at where the focus has been so far, most of the focus is on taking applications to cloud and moving them from VM to probably containers. One of the most, I won't say neglected, but the space that needs to change now is the entire database space. And if you look at how customers are managing databases today, they have taken hardware on a CapEx model. They have the operating system and the database licenses on an ELM model from the OEMs. And then they have teams which are siloed depending upon the database technology that is there in the environment and managing that. I think that whole model has to change, enabling customers to transform and accelerate their digital transformation journey. And that is where our offering of database as a service is very unique, because it offers a full stack of services, which includes right from hardware and all the way to operations on a completely utility model powered by the Nutanix Era.
Yeah. Anand, it might make sense if you can give us a little bit of a broader context for your users, some of the data that you have around this offering.
Yeah, at the end of it, all the solutions, our joint solutions, our customers, they are trying to deliver the best end user experience, right? That's at the heart of it, what they're trying to do. I'll give you a couple of customer examples. For example, RBL Bank in India, they deployed their database solutions and applications in Nutanix, got 6 times faster application response. That means it used to take 180 seconds to log into their application, and now it's 30 seconds, 6 times faster. Another example I could give, I can give many examples, but this one is really interesting. Delaware Valley Community Health. At the time of COVID, they went remote. They started working from home, and they had medical systems applications, EMR, electronic medical record applications. And it used to take, even before they were working from home, it used to take 171 seconds to log into medical systems before they could, talk to their patients and look at their, health results and everything. And that from 171 seconds, it went to 19 seconds. So these are some of the values that customers are seeing when it comes to delivering the end user experience to their customers.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen. Please, Tej, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll just add to what Venu said, that it's also the ability to have self-service with dynamic provisioning capability that really brings the value to the IT teams and to the application teams who are consuming these services. So we have cases where customers were waiting for about a week, 10 days for the environments to be provisioned to them. And now it's a matter of seconds or minutes where they can have a full-fledged environments leading to developer productivity. And that also really adds the whole acceleration that Venu just spoke about.
Yeah, we've absolutely seen such a transformation in database. For the longest time, it was a database. It didn't change too much. That's what everything run on. Now there's a lot of flexibility. Open source is a big piece of what's going on there. Hey, I'd like to come back to you, and Theno, I know you're going to want to chime in here. HCL doesn't just take this off the shelf and resell it. Help us understand what is unique about the offering that HCL brings to market with Nutanix.
Right. So one is that we have standardized reference architectures which really accelerate the time to consume the offering. We are not building anything from grounds up. The Nutanix is also part of our velocity framework, which helps customers deploy software-defined infrastructure as a foundation element for their private cloud. Now, what is unique is also the ability to not only provide operations on different databases that are there in the environment on a completely utility model, but also help customers, move to cloud and adopt the cloud-native databases, and then manage the whole show seamlessly using the platform. And that really, if you look at the trend that is there, there's a short-term impact and there's a long-term impact of transformation. In the short term, there's hardly any industry which is not touched by COVID. And most of our customers are either looking at cost out initiatives or are looking at a platform which will help them innovate or find new business model to sail through. In the long term, we strongly believe that the customers will be in a hybrid multi-cloud world where they will still have the heritage environments, the Oracle and the SQLs, and a lot of cloud-native databases will also start coming into picture. Now, how do you manage this whole show seamlessly is what going to be the next challenge for most of the customers, and that's where we come in along with Nutanix to solve that problem.
Well, very simply put, right, we have different categories of customers. One of them prefers to buy the ingredient and make their own meal, and some really large customers and global customers prefer to buy the meal and pay for it on an as-consumed basis. What HCL does is take Era, which simplifies a lot of the database operations, puts it into a full stack solution and gives the customer the full stack solution. Everything from assessing their environment to deploying to making sure that the design is accurate, and then of course the day two through end operation and management environment. Right. So literally, the customer can now offload any of their data center or database management and operation to HCL from an IT perspective, and rest assured, run their projects through HCL. So HCL becomes their extended arm. The beauty of it is also that working with HCL, we're now able to offer the entire solution on a pay-as-you-go model or pay-as-you-use model, which is very relevant to the existing times where everybody is trying to cut their CapEx costs and optimize on their utilizations.
Well, great to hear about that. You've mentioned that this partnership has been for many years, so I know you've got plenty of joint customers. Anything specifically you can share about these new offerings? Anand, I know you've got a lot of the customer stories there. Maybe you can start, and would love for the rest of you to chime in.
I'll start with, like I talked about a couple of customers, but recently I'm really excited about, and this is something that we are announcing today as well, a study that we did with Forrester called Forrester TEI study, which is what it means, Total Economic Impact Study. And what they do is that they talked with customers, interviewed them, 4 of them, and based on their experience, what they observed, what kind of benefit they got, what challenges they had, what cost, they built an economic model. And based on that economic model, they found that customers, all of them were able to get their payback within 6 months. So Bala talked about it earlier that, like all the great experience, all the great value that we offer, but at a very, very good cost. So less than 6 months payback was huge. And the ROI for the 3 years period, and again, this is a model based on 4 enterprises was 290, 100%, so almost like 3 times more. So whatever they invested, I think on an average, the cost was 2.3 million and the benefit was 9 million or so. So huge value customers have observed already. And with this new launch, I believe that it will just go to the next level. All the things about provisioning, copy data, saving the storage, all of that adds to the ROI that I'm talking about. And our joint customers with HCL or otherwise, who are customers who are running their applications, their business critical applications on Nutanix platform managed by Era. And Era is built out of a bunch of best practices that over time that we have done. I talked about touch-on performance earlier, and a lot of the performance comes from fine-tuning. You do that, like a lot of tuning and to get to a right kind of performance. Era comes with that, those best practices. So when you're provisioning an application, it gives you don't have to do all that tuning. So that's the value customers are experiencing. And I'm really excited about the joint customers, what they could experience and benefit out of the new expanded solution.
Great. Teja, any other customer examples that you'd like to share?
Well, we've had a lot of... Go ahead, Paige.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that we've had a lot of success with HCL across the board, anywhere from data center modernization to VDI. We had a very large manufacturing company in Americas where we partnered together. They have a huge number of sub-brands. We partnered together to go evaluate their environment and then also even upgrade their SAP infrastructure. With databases, it's a relatively new offering we're announcing today, but we are leveraging the expertise that HCL has in the market to go dive deeper into that market with HCL. So I will leave it to Tej to give us the HCL examples.
So one thing that is happening is the very definition of infrastructure and infrastructure operation itself is changing. So a couple of years ago, for many of our customers, it was about operating system management, hardware management, network management. And over the years, the concept that we are going back to customer is about platform operations. That means everything to do with application operations downward is going to be done by one integrated unit. Now with Nutanix, we can really bring a lot of change, and we are bringing a lot of change in the operations model for a lot of our large customers. Where earlier you had siloed teams around compute, network storage, operating system databases, both at the level 2 and level 3, and you had a level 1, which was basically command center. Now we are saying is that with the artificial intelligence and machine learning driven ops, you can practically eliminate the need for command center. On the level 2 layer, because the platform enables you to be multi-skilled, you need not have siloed engineers looking after databases separately and operating systems separately. You can have the same set of people who are cross-trained, multi-skilled, looking at the entire state. And at level 3, you may want to keep people who are deep into databases as a separate team than from people who are managing the Nutanix platform, which is a combination of compute, storage, and the SDN. So that's the change that we are bringing to a lot of our customers who are going about infrastructure platform modernization as they adopt public cloud or hybrid clouds.
Well, I think you really articulated well that modernization journey. We've seen so many companies going through. The thing I've been saying with Nutanix for years is modernize the platform, then you can modernize everything that runs on top of it, all the applications. And of course, the database is a major piece of this. Anand, that brings up a point I want to get your take on. We haven't talked yet about developers. The Devops Trend, something we've seen, huge growth for a number of years. So what does this mean for the developers? Is this something that, mostly the infrastructure team is going to handle, or how do you bridge that gap to the people that really are, building and building the apps?
Yeah, in this digital world, the cycle time from idea to production, everyone is trying to reduce that. What that means is that things are moving left. People are trying to develop and test early in the life cycle when it is easy to find a problem and and cheaper to fix, right? So for that, you need your application environment, your application and database available to test and develop in like in volume. And that's where database as a service Era helps developers and DevOps professionals to provision the whole infrastructure for testing and in volume, in hundreds and thousands of them at the same time, without worrying about the storage back end, how much storage it is consuming. So it helps developers to really expedite their development and testing life cycle, ultimately resulting in excellent end user experience.
Yeah, absolutely. We know just moving faster, being able to respond to the business, so critically important. Thenu, Tej, I want to let you have the final word. Talk about the partnership and what we should expect, in the coming months and quarters.
So I'll go first, and then Venu can come in. HCL and Nutanix share the same values, where we believe that we need to provide a very innovative platform for our customers to accelerate their digital transformation journey, no matter what it is, right? We share common values, and we have a 360-degree relationship which started way back in 2015, and we have come a long way since then. HCL also does engineering services for Nutanix, and we have close to about 850 odd plus people who are trained and certified on Nutanix solutions, providing managed services to our customers. Nutanix is also part of our software-defined infrastructure portfolio, and we are taking it to our customers as part of our entire infrastructure platform modernization that I spoke about earlier. The recent announcement of Nutanix clusters running on AWS, I think, is a significant announcement, and it will provide a lot of options to our customers. And as an SI, we are able to bring a lot of value to our customers who are looking at adopting cloud. The database as a service offering, I think we are very excited about it. I think we have about 300 plus customers, and many of them are still stuck with the way they are managing databases the old way, and we can bring in a lot of value to those customers, whether it is about reducing costs or increasing agility or helping them modernize the platform and adopt hybrid multi-clouds.
Business critical apps are still growing, and data is pretty much gold in these scenarios, right? It's doubling every 2 years, if not more, with every transaction being remote today. With HCL, we actually look forward to addressing that market and optimizing the environment for our customers. Both of our companies believe in partnership, trust, and a customer-first mindset. And when you have that belief, trust comes with delivering the best experience to our customers. So we're looking forward to this partnership, and we're looking forward to growing our joint revenue and modernizing our customers' platforms with this offering.
Well, I want to thank all three of you for sharing the exciting news. Absolutely, it looks like a strong partnership, lots of potential there for the future. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
All right, I want to thank the audience for watching this launch with Nutanix, the new era in database management. Personally, a big thank you to the Nutanix community. It's been a pleasure being able to host these interviews with Nutanix for many years. So I'm Stu Miniman, and thank you as always for watching theCUBE.